For many customers, the journey towards a platform is incremental. We've seen many customers through hundreds of engagements onboard into an initial project. They work out how to stand up the initial technology, deploy the core software, potentially cloud plexes in a pure iPaaS model, or ground plexes on-prem. They think about the initial security requirements. They then set up their development environment and build their first integrations, and then hopefully rapidly put them into production. This can be very, very quickly. We have many case studies where customers have launched their first projects in a matter of weeks rather than months and had basic core pipelines developed, ready to go in the matter of days. But as an organization starts to roll out our platform, what we start to see is the second project. The second project will go through very similar dynamics, but for so many enterprises, they start to think about, now you have multiple stakeholders. If the project isn't necessarily in the same line of business, you start to think about different development teams working across it, trying to build out best practices, trying to build out new services, trying to make sure that the on-ramp to use the platform is both successful and actually gets quicker over time. Also, you develop greater and greater understanding of your environments and your use cases and your systems as you move through. And what we see is this is actually an ongoing journey. The days of big bang integration has been over for at least the last 10 years, where everyone used to stop the world for 3 or 4 years while somebody stood up an integration platform. Now we see, of course, and accelerated by the concept of Agile and DevOps, smaller groups of developers working across many projects at pace, supporting different parts of the organization. But this also means that a new type of operating model is required, where you have to start to think about not just the technology, but also the people and the surrounding best processes capability. And also, many organizations start with fragmented landscapes and then want to converge it from the point of view of the operational sense, where a small group of operational people will support many developers. This is actually exacerbated with the adoption of citizen developers, and in our case, citizen integrators that we've seen great success with, but needing to understand how to onboard less technical people, making sure that they're doing the right things in the right way. And all that IP that they're generating in the platform is actually reprocessed and recycled so that it can actually accelerate the value of the platform and the value to the business. This means that we see actually a widening set of users and stakeholders. We see architects start to get involved with, obviously infrastructure to stand up environments, not just a SnapLogic environment, but the surrounding DevOps tooling, possibly messaging environments or caching or other components to a wider strategy. You obviously have the business users that are generating demand, and you have the developer teams and developer communities that are a little bit different. And the thing is, over time, these will constantly be recycling, moving across different lines of business, from HR to sales, from sales to supply chain, to net new digital services at pace. So, to help resolve the tension and the complexity of this, SnapLogic is developing the Sigma framework. It covers the standard set of capabilities, how your framework should align to your business strategy, how it should be measured, and what type of security and control and governance of the overarching platform it needs to fit into. Obviously, the organizational governance, also community and evangelism. I've spoken several times during this video about the shift from centralized IT to federated teams to citizen developers. So there's a need to think about how you interact with a more dispersed organization. Obviously, architectural best practices are always welcome and required. Development. Again, many organizations start with no automation because you can stand up very quickly, but eventually move to a much more structured, automated environment where quality and pace can be maintained throughout many tens or even hundreds of projects. And of course, you have operations. The men and women who have to keep the lights on, monitor it, make sure the platform is healthy, understand what the SLAs that need to be required, and how new capability will be rolled in and onboarded. So this is very much what we are developing around from our experience with key accounts from SnapLogic. This was actually launched in October this year, 2023. We are going to be launching a series of interlinking artifacts to support this framework. It's going to be, or has been, launched through the Integrate Nation, which is the SnapLogic community. We have a number of artifacts already in the public domain, and we have a dedicated enterprise-wide team here at SnapLogic developing our best practices and working with partners and customers to keep on extending and adding value to your journey. So please go to the site, have a look at the content. We hope you can give us feedback, and hopefully it will give you value in your evolutionary journey in adopting SnapLogic. Thank you for your time.